Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and I'm back with card number 3 of Mother's Day cards with the Cricut. So come on and join me so I can show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, I'm going to bring up the supplies so we can get started on card number 3. So my card measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've taken it and scored it to make it a 4.25 by 5.5 inch card. The other thing that I've done is I've taken and inked my edges, and I've used the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and this time I'm using the Broken China. So now, actually my card's going to go this way, so it's 4.25 by 5.5. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and put on my top layer. Now my top layer measures 4 by 5.25, and what I've done is I've once again used the ribbon. I've cut a 14-inch piece of ribbon and I've made a ruffle, but this time I have it at the top and at the bottom. And I think I'm going to have my ruffles going this way. Or do I want my ruffles going this way? I think I want them going this way. So yep, we're going to take and go ahead and put them going this way. And I just want to lay this down for right now. What I like to do sometimes when I'm making my cards is lay everything down to see how it's going to look. I mean, I know how it's going to look on the Gypsy, or when I cut out with the Cricut, but I like to kind of just still lay it out just to see how it's going to look. So now the other thing that I'm going to put on down is I'm going to go ahead and just lay out my scallop that I've cut out using my Spellbinders die, and it's the Scallop Classic Oval. It looks like this. And then I've inked the edges as well with this using the Broken China. And then I've cut out the classic oval that's not scalloped. And I cut this size. And I took my Cuttlebug swirl folder, and which looks like this, and I ran it through using my Big Shot. And I'm still using my Big Shot right now for the Cuttlebug folders and the Spellbinders dies, because I still need to get the attachment or the accessory adapter to run things through my Vagabond, or Mr. Bond as I call it. So after I ran it through the Big Shot, I then took my sanding tool and just sanded a little bit on the top. So that would be laying right here, like so. So now I'm ready to go ahead and just tape everything down. So we'll start by taping down the top layer with the ruffles, and I'm going to use my ATG gun for this, since this cardstock is really heavy and the ruffles are heavy as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go along my edges, and then I'm going to make sure I get enough tape in the middle, because we really want to make sure that this stays down. So now that I've done that, I'm ready to open up my card and go ahead and lay my layer down. So I'm going to line this up, and then I'm just going to go ahead and press down. And I've gotten a little tape along the edges here, so I've got to find my adhesive remover so I can get that up. Okay, I've gotten my adhesive remover, so I just want to get that up on the edge there. And that looks like that's not tape, that's actually the glue gun, because I used the glue gun to make my ruffle. So, okay, so now we've gotten that up. Okay, so now I need to put just a little bit of glue down on this side here. to make sure that ruffle stays down. There we are. So now let's go ahead and put our top layer and our scallop layer and our oval layer together. And I am going to pop them up, but for right now I just want to go ahead and tape this down. So this time I'm going to also use, because this is also some thick cardstock, I'm going to also go ahead and use the ATG gun to do this as well. Let me just move that out the way. And because this is oval, I'm just going to go down the middle. And I've inked the edges on this one as well using the broken china. So let's lay this down and get it where we want it. And just run my fingers along here to make sure I've got it down. Okay, so now we've done that. I want to go ahead and add my flower pot. Now, the way I put this together is the flower pot itself is from the Walk in My Garden cartridge. And it is key number 22. And it is on page 103. And I'm sorry, I'm going through the stem. This is the stem, so we'll do that one first. The stem I cut at 2 1/4 inches, and that is on page 103. And it looks like this. And I cut that out. And then for the flower pot, the flower pot is from the Walk in My Garden as well. And it is key number 10. And that is on page 91. So it looks like this. And I cut this one, and I cut that out at 1 1/2 inches. And if I didn't say, I cut the stems out at 2 1/4. But I cut out this one, and then I cut out the top. And then I went along and I inked the edges on each one. Now for my flowers, if you've seen these flowers before, I had this on a previous card. These flowers, I got the cut file from Kathy from Paper Phenomenon. She had a Ustream class, and she showed how to put these flowers together. And if you go to her blog, I believe it's paperphenomenon.blogspot.com, she gives you the actual cut file to make these. So what I've done is I've cut them out in cream cardstock, and then I took 2 of the flowers, these 2 right here, and I inked them with the Tim Holtz Broken China Distress ink. And then this one right here, I've used my Sapphire Glimmer Mist, and I glimmer misted each petal, and the petals themselves look like this when you cut them out. So I glimmer mist them with the sapphire, and then I took the Martha Stewart glitter, the hematite, and I put some glitter on there. To make the glitter stay, I used this super quick grip spray adhesive. And then I just put the glitter on there and tapped off any excess that didn't stick. For the flowers, these 2 flowers, I used the Martha Stewart turquoise glitter. Now this flower right here, this one I used my glimmer mist. It's called Fall Breeze. and then I sprinkled it with the hematite. Then after I've got everything together, what I then did was I glued each one to the stem. So it looks like this on the back. And I've added some foam tape because I'm going to pop this up. But before I go ahead and pop this up, I'm going to take my card and go ahead and lay down my ovals and then put my flower pot and the flowers where I want them, just to line it up. And that looks the way I want it. So now I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to pop up the scallop oval as well. And then peel off the backing for the foam tape. And then just lay that down. So now I can go ahead and add my flower pot. And I'm going to put the flower pot right there. So let's peel the backing off the foam tape for the flower pot. And then we can go ahead and lay it down. I'm going to come down about right there. And I've put a pearl in each one of the flowers. And when I sprayed them with the quick spray adhesive and then put the glitter, that changed the pearl to be the color of the glitter. So now that we have that on, the last thing I want to do on front is I just want to go ahead and put this little tiny butterfly on there. And this is actually from the Martha Stewart Monarch Butterfly Punch. And it was actually the corner punch that looks like this. And what I did was I just cut off the corners so that I could just have just the butterfly. So I'm going to take my glue gun and put a little bit of glue in the center of the butterfly on the back and then just put that down. And I kind of want it to pop up like so. And then what I'll probably do off camera is I probably will go ahead and add some blue stickles down the center of the spine of the butterfly and let that dry. I won't do that on camera. You don't need to see me adding stickles. So now the inside of my card, I've already put my sentiment in there, and what I have is, may joy bloom for you like a garden full of flowers. Happy Mother's Day. So that's it. That is card number 3 of the Mother's Day cards with the Cricut. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget to come back and watch card number 4. Bye.